On this video, I would like to read Psalm 23 in Hebrew, phrase by phrase, with running comments and translating it into English. I have done a number of grammars with Psalm 23, and I want this just to be a simple read that anyone can follow. And so it's a psalm about the divine shepherd. It's a beautiful psalm. There is a note that I am reading from the Sonsino commentary on the Psalms, page 67. The world would spare or could spare many a large book better than this sunny little psalm. It has dried many tears and supplied the mold into which many hearts have poured their peaceful faith. How true that is. It's a beautiful psalm that has dried many tears. And I'd like to go through it and read it phrase by phrase, making comments as we do. In the first 4 verses, we're looking at God as the great shepherd. And then in verses 5 and 6, as the host. You have those two images. So we begin Mizmor le David, that is a psalm of David. Adonai ro'i lo eksar. The Lord shepherds me, I shall not lack. What a beautiful thought. The Lord is constantly shepherding his people. And David said, I shall not lack. Notice how personal it is. The Lord shepherds me, I shall not lack. Verse 2, Benot desha yarbitseni. Beside pastures of green grass, he causes me to recline. What a beautiful, or in pastures of green grass. What a beautiful thought. The Lord wants to cause us to lie down in a beautiful place, in pastures of green grass. And that really speaks to our heart and our soul, that he wants us to rest and lead us to those green pastures in life. And then al mei menuchot yanahaleni, that is, beside waters of resting places, he leads me. What a beautiful thought. The Lord leads us beside resting places, waters of resting places. It doesn't mean we're looking at tumultuous waters, but restful waters. That's where the sheep can rest. And so the beautiful picture here is the Lord leads us beside those resting places that we can rest. And then verse 3, Nafshi Yeshoveh. He restores my soul. It's like he gives me back my life. We can be down, and life has a lot of struggle, but he revives us. He restores my soul. And that's very personal, again, that we can all apply to ourselves. Yancheni v'magalei tzedek lema'an shmo. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. It's sort of like in beaten paths, paths that have been tried. He is the faithful shepherd. He's gone through these paths many times. So he causes me in life, the psalmist is saying, to be led in these straight paths, these tried paths that he has been over many, many times. And as we follow the shepherd, he leads us in that same way. Then in verse 4, Gam ki elek begate salmavet, even though I walk in the valley of deep darkness. Salmavet means gloominess or deep darkness. And even though I walk in the valley where it's very, very dark, and lions or wild animals could prey on the sheep, or thieves could steal or kill the shepherd and steal, could destroy the shepherd and then kill the sheep. And he said, I don't have to fear, because even though I walk in the valley of deep darkness, lo ira ra ki ata imadi. I will not fear. It's very alliterative here in Hebrew. Lo ira ra. I will not fear evil. Why? Ki ata imadi. For you are with me. What a beautiful picture here as we go through the dark times of life. The psalmist is saying, I can be assured that I will not fear evil, for you are with me. The Lord promises to be with us in those dark, dark times of life, the dark valleys where the sun seems to be cut off. And then, Shiftacha uminshantecha hema yanachamuni. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. That is, your rod can drive wild animals away, and your staff gives you sure footing as a shepherd, and they provide comfort for me. You have the equipment to protect me as a sheep following you. I think this is what David is saying, and that is true today. The Lord is always with us, and he has the equipment to protect his sheep. When you think of the New Testament, and I'm applying it to the New Testament as a Christian minister, Jesus conquered death and gained victory over death and over Satan and over the demons. And so we can be comforted by knowing that he has the equipment to help us and to protect us in the dark valleys of life. And then he comes from the host, or from the shepherd imagery, to a host. It reads, Ta'arok lefanai shulchan neged zorarai. That is, you arrange a table before me in the presence of my adversaries. The imagery here is running from enemies, and the royal host invites the one fleeing into his tent, and he opens up and begins to feed him and care for him and protect him. It was the obligation of a host to protect his guests, and he throws this table, so to speak, with a wonderful meal, and the enemies can only stand on the outside and watch, I believe is the picture here. And then he moves on, Dishanta Vasheman Roshi Kosi Revaya. What a beautiful phrase. You anoint with oil my head. My cup is full and running over. It is a satiated cup. So the picture is the anointing of the head with oil. We're looking at alliterative language, Dishanta Vasheman Roshi Kosi. Again, what a beautiful way that the Hebrew is expressing how the host cares for the guests that he's invited in. And to anoint the head with oil is to bring refreshment, to bring relief from running from enemies. And my cup is a satiated cup. In other words, my lot now is really all I could ever ask for. It's full. And so the shepherd is a royal host and a wonderful host that takes care of the of one running from adversaries, or we could say even adversarial circumstances in life. And then finally, verse 6, Ach tov v'chesed yirdafuni kol yamei chayai. Surely goodness and mercy will chase after me all the days of my life. What a beautiful picture here. Instead of the enemies chasing him, God is chasing him with goodness and loyal love, kindness, all the days of my life. That's what's going to pursue me, the psalmist is saying. What a beautiful picture. That the Lord promises to chase after us with his goodness and his kindness and his loyal covenant love all the days of life. And we can take encouragement in that. And then the final phrase, V'shavti b'veit Adonai la'orek yamim. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord for length of days, forever and ever. Or we could say, and my dwelling shall be in the house of the Lord for length of days, all of my life. I want to be in this house because that's where the Lord takes care of us. We can't find a better house to be in than in the presence of the Lord, in his house, where the royal host is taking care of us. So, what a beautiful psalm. And we can take heart. And I'm reminded, looking at the New Testament, that Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. And the good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. We also are encouraged that he said, I'll be always with you. Lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the age, and all power is given to me in heaven and upon earth. He is the shepherd to protect us, and we're told that nothing can ever sever us from the love of God, which is in Jesus Christ, in Romans chapter 8.